Let's roll. It's the Combat Sports Report on the SportsGrid Television Network, Roku, and much more. I am Gabe Morency. Let's do this thing. The summer of sports are here as we've got the Stanley Cup Finals, the NBA Finals. The World Cup is ready to take the world over. It's a global takeover of the World Cup, and it's a global takeover for BKFC as well. As they've got more dates lined up this summer than like Metallica do. It's like a traveling road show, literally and figuratively, like globally, like Florida, Indiana, Sturgis, Naples, Italy, of course, Philadelphia, which has become the lifeblood, and the Liberty Brawl, of course, the big event coming up in July. We've got combat sport legend, UFC legend, lights out himself. Chris Lytle steps up and in, of course, color analyst, BKFC. Chris, happy summer, my man. Thanks a lot for taking the time to be with us, bro. Always a pleasure, my man.
Of course, but I haven't been home in about 10 days. Kids came from Birmingham, England, stopped by London for a night, came right over. I'm here in Hollywood, Florida, right by Miami. We have a Thursday night fight. Why? Because we can, because BKFC dominates this market, and we sell out every time we come here down to the Hard Rock in Hollywood, Florida. I think we've sold out 14 or 15 straight shows. Thursday night, Wednesday night, Tuesday, it doesn't matter. We sell out when we come here because we can put on great fights. We just had, the big one in Birmingham that was amazing when you have Connor Tierney versus Rico Franco. Two guys right there from the area went to battle, and Franco's on another level right now. Quick knockout. He had 5 knockdowns. I mean, Connor Tierney got up 4 times. He's an animal, man. Just in his hometown, he got beat by Franco's just an animal. And Darren Till made his debut. Dealt with some adversity, got dropped, got up, and got the knockout. He's going to be very good for us. I think it was the best thing for him to get knocked out. It was great.
I was just going to ask you that, actually, about Darren, because he said, I'm going to come in here and murder people. Is it good, Chris, for a fighter to get a quick reality check and realize, all right, this is different. This is a different animal right now, and then responded the way that he did? What kind of future do you think Darren has in BKFC?
Man, I mean, it was a perfect fight for him, to be honest with you. He fought a guy who had a couple bare-knuckle fights, had some experience. Experience is everything in this sport. And when you get in here, you realize real quick it's different. And it takes some guys 1 to 3 rounds, sometimes a good fighter, to figure out exactly, get that range, the distance, the timing. Him getting knocked down made him go, I understand that this is real, and you can't get hit. You have to be perfect. And he came back, and he was very technically good. He finished that round well, and then he did a pullback 2 and just landed a perfect shot. I think that was a very good learning experience for him. I think he probably enjoyed it a lot, and I think he's going to be very excited. I mean, the sky's coming for this guy. You don't really know until you see, but I mean, I think he's going to do very well for us.
A fight that I'm looking forward to here is Trout versus Bonner, and we haven't seen Austin in a while here, and I think that people are starting to see right now the different levels of skill, the different types of fighters, the different backgrounds that fighters have in BKFC. But let's talk a little bit about the Liberty Brawl and the card there with Austin Trout and Bonner. What are your early thoughts on this matchup?
You have to love the matchup. I mean, Trout has been nothing short of phenomenal. He's one of the few guys, he's the first guy, in my opinion, to be a very high-level boxer who said, okay, this isn't boxing without gloves. I have to figure out how to do this more. What do I do? So I go into Muay Thai gyms, MMA. He learned the clinch. He learned what he has to do and to avoid it. That's where some guys have been so bad, and so they'll just get in that clinch and they gas out. They don't know what to do. He's been very good. So if you can translate that high-level boxer, take a few things, tweak it a little bit, and then make him utilize the skills that he's been developing for 20 years, he's going to do very well. He's done that. However, Bonner is a different kind of fighter. He's going to come in, he's going to try and, get into the pocket and land punches. He's not going to really try and get in the clinch. He's all about power, and this is a different sport. When you get hit with no gloves, just like Darren Till learned, it's different. You can't get hit at all. So Austin's going to have to be perfect to win this fight, which he might be, but he might not be. It's an intriguing fight, in my opinion.
How important is head movement? That's what I'm just thinking too, right? Austin's head movement and just that boxing background of avoiding getting drilled. is an underrated aspect of this sport, isn't it? We speak to fighters on a weekly basis, and a lot of people talk about what they're going to do to their opponent, Chris, but you were a type of guy that didn't mind getting hit, right, in your career. But as you stated, this is a different beast, man, with in the bare knuckle world.
It was so funny when I first started doing bare knuckle. Like I was a boxer, I was an MMA guy, definitely willing to trade. Once I started doing bare knuckle, I learned immediately you can't trade. So I had shifted my entire style to avoid punches, a lot of head movement, a lot of pulls. And that's funny that all the things that the fighters talk about is head movement and footwork. You have to be very good at these. And if you're not very good at them, you better develop a skill to get good at those. If you're not going to be, you're going to have a rough go at it. You better just be very genetically gifted to take a lot of abuse. But who wants to do that? That's stupid. So the high-level guys can really avoid shots. They don't take a lot of clean shots. That's what you have to do to be good. It's always going to happen every now and again, but you can't make a career on just being tough. You're gonna struggle, I think. So that's where Austin's been good. But, I mean, once again, it doesn't take many shots. If you just if a guy can get in and land one good shot and they're not used to it, that could be a game-changing event that happens. And that's what Bonner's planning on doing. He's planning on getting in that pocket, getting in the area where he can land one good shot and change the whole way Austin Trout fights.
I wanted to ask you about Lorenzo Hunt because I'm also excited about this. And not too bad, right? Naples, Uruguay. Like I said, this is like it's like the World Cup. It's like and honestly, it's not easy to put on as many cards, right? You got all the World Cup countries and like soccer. It's just great stuff. But what is it about Lorenzo? Is it that he's just like, because everyone's different. We have some guys on, and we've talked about it, Chris, we're like, yeah, I've never been in a fight before BKFC, right? And I just happen to be good at this. And then you got some sort of dudes, you can just tell, they like messing people up. They like the violence aspect of it. And Lorenzo's just thriving in this right now, pound for pound badass.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. He's extremely strong. He's extremely explosive. And he's always dangerous. And he's willing to get hit, get knocked down. He'll get back up, and he's going to try and take your head off. You have to be perfect against Lorenzo, too. You have to either hit him and knock him out, which is not able to be done very easily, or you just have to, I don't know, be perfect the whole fight and just frustrate him. But what he's proven to me is even when he's hurt is when he's the most dangerous. If he is hurt, he's hard, powerful, accurate, fast, and if he lands one, you're going night-night. I mean, he's putting people unconscious when he hits them. That's what he does. When he's like a caged animal, and you corner him, he's going to come out firing. And if you get hit with it, you're going down.
Big events coming up this summer for BKFC, and as I stated, pretty much wherever you are, like internationally, Nashville, Tennessee. Right, we got a Nashville, Tennessee card. Hammond, Indiana, of course, Philadelphia and the Liberty Brawl, Naples. Uruguay, and then Sturgis. And, Sturgis is going to be lit on August 8th, Chris. We got about a minute left, and we have fighters on, and we always ask them, what do you want to fight on and stuff, and a lot of them have said, I want to be on that Sturgis card.
I mean, Sturgis is going to be amazing. We open up right before us. Afterwards, Megadeth comes on. That's unreal. Uruguay, you don't understand. I went there. The whole country is going to be watching. Not that the whole continent. We get a fighter from about every country in South America. They're fired up. We had 500 people show up to just watch one of our fighters hit the mitts. It's going to be, we're selling out that place. That's going to be amazing. Sturgis is going to be amazing. I mean, every place we're starting to go, it's just taking off. We're selling out everywhere we go. And everybody's wanting to be part of what we're doing. I can't believe what's happening. This has been once we get a TV deal, it's over. It's a done game. Everybody's going to be like, no other combat sports importance is going to be us because we're the most exciting by far.
Chris, it's always a pleasure, my man. Get some rest because I know you're going back out on the road soon. Once again, it's always a pleasure, my man. Thanks for the time.
Take care.
Combat Sports Report continues. Bring it.
Terrible start last year, injured all the way through, didn't have a chance to win that Major League Baseball season. This year, first team to 20 wins. First team to 30 wins, first team to 40 wins. It's all in the Atlanta Braves. Good baseball club lurking around here.
They still have some guys, some starting pitchers on the shelf there that could help them down the road, but the Braves are sitting pretty right now.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Christopher Sanchez is the right call right now. What am I missing? Why is Shohei Ohtani not right there with him? Well, is it the innings, Donnie? What is it? What am I missing here? Because if he qualifies for the pitching title and he throws a lot of innings and he leads the major leagues in earned run average and even whip, like, well, what am I missing?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Hey there, it's your buddy Craig Carton. If you're trying to find out how to get all the great content that me and Tyrone Johnson give you every single day, here's Tyrone to tell you how.
You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and of course, Amazon Music as well. We're at all four.
That's right. It's the Craig Carton Show podcast every weekday morning live at 11, replayed at noon on YouTube and on SportsGrid throughout the country. Check it out.
We're rolling. Thanks to Chris Lytle for joining us on the Combat Sports Report. It's time for our videos of the week, and we're going to start off actually with a BKFC video. We were just talking about Darren Till's BKFC debut this past weekend, and it was an impressive debut in which he got tested and he got dropped, but then he responded with his own knockout, and it's pretty clear that Darren Till packs a lot of power in the bare knuckle world. Here are the highlights from the fight.
All it takes is a little shot.
Referee Chris Batchelor.
Challenge is very hurt. He wants no more. He's not.
Shaking his head no. The count from Batchelor. The count of 10. The come from behind victory in his BKFC debut for Darren Till.
Off the canvas to win his first bare knuckle.
Very impressive debut for Darren Till, getting tagged. And as Chris stated, it takes fighters I like how Chris said it takes a round or two or three. You figure it takes a couple of fights. But it's like, no. He's like, yeah, it takes a round or two or three to sort of figure out this is a lot different when you're getting punched in the bare knuckle world than the MMA world. But a successful debut for Darren Till, and BKFC's rise continues. More and more fighters want in, and it really is unbelievable, like how many cards that they have basically on a weekly basis, like all over the place, right? Like they're really like Uruguay, Italy, Sturgis, North Dakota, like they literally, you know what I mean? If it's legal, they're coming. Like basically, if they're sanctioned, they're down. All right, so shout out to the BKFC crew and congratulations to Darren Till on his victory. The White House card is rapidly approaching, and Derek Lewis was sort of that add-on with Josh Hokett to this White House card, and we've been showing you a lot of videos of the fighters preparing and training. I want to give you a behind-the-scenes look of Derek Lewis's super intense training camp. I don't know why people do this. I've talked about this for years. Would you go up to like Mike Tyson in his prime and tell him, "Hey, it'd be fun if you punched me"? Like, do you want to get sacked on the concrete by like Myles Garrett or something? Like, I don't understand when people like say, "Oh, yeah, you know what? I want to see what it's like." So this kid found out what it was like to get punched in the stomach by Derek Lewis. Listen to the sound. Like, listen. Oh. My stomach literally hurts looking at that. I'm like, oh, God. You know, like when you see someone get kicked in nuts or something, you're like, oh. And you can kind of sort of feel it. Like, that's almost like that. Where I'm like, yeah, that doesn't look like something I want to do. For Derek Lewis to punch me like that, $25,000, $50,000, like, I'm not doing it for like $1,000 or something like that. I'm not going to the hospital with internal bleeding for $1,000. I don't know. Like, I guess I'd let Derek Lewis punch me for like $50K or something, but there's no way in hell I'm doing it for a video hit. I'll tell you that. I've been choked out and stuff, or like rolled out and like, you know what I mean? Or submitted and stuff. Like, we've done like a couple of like gym type stunts, but I'm not getting punched like that. This guy's just an idiot. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, so we've showed you this sport, guys. Remember, like, these guys are the psychopaths. It's basically like, you know what I mean, like rugby, and they smash into each other. We've been showing videos of this for a little while now, but I've always been waiting for them to start actually throwing down. It sort of kind of happened, but this is some good stuff. Somebody cheap-shotted somebody, and then there was payback after.
Oh, nah. Wow. What was that?
And that's not something we want to condone at RNC. Unsportsmanlike contact, Tavia.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. All right, so they go again. Look at this. Boom. I'm going to tell you, as a Buffalo Bill fan, I think this dude in green might be able to help our linebacker core. These dudes can ball. Like, they're fast, like, whatever. Like, it's like a combination of basically, like, rugby and just psychoticness. But God bless them, because it's just that's some wild stuff right there. And our last video, this one's too good, all right? This one's too good. You know, there's a lot of, stare downs and, at the weigh-ins, and everybody's got their own thing right now, and you want to try to get some press and go viral. And, well, I find a lot of it is forced and stupid. This dude, it's like basically next to impossible not to laugh out loud here. Look at this. To me, it's the mini finger that's the best. He looks in his pocket. He checks not just one. He goes into both pockets. So he checks his left pocket, finds it in the right pocket, little mini finger, and then the little slap. Come on. Tell me that's not good. I was in Poland over the weekend. This is the card where Greg Hardy got knocked out. Like former NFL player Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy came in 30 pounds overweight. Said, my plane was delayed. What the hell does a plane delay have to do with you being 30? Like, I don't understand the correlation of a plane being delayed and you missing weight by 30 pounds. But he got stretched and knocked out anyways on the card. But to me, that is one of the funniest, sort of things I've seen before a fight. Reaching into the pockets, finger, mini slap. Combat Sports Report continues. Bring it.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Terrible start last year, injured all the way through, didn't have a chance to win that Major League Baseball season. This year, first team to 20 wins, first team to 30 wins, first team to 40 wins. It's all in the Atlanta Braves. Good baseball club lurking around here.
They still have some guys, some starting pitchers on the shelf there that could help them down the road, but the Braves are sitting pretty right now.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
That's for Abdul Carter. Hey, son, you want to be a leader? Show up to meetings on time. Don't be late to practice. This guy's sitting there trying to tell me that he's got a problem with Jackson Dart going to a Trump rally when he can't even show up to a meeting on time and he can't show up to practice and he's late? Dude.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Well, the talk has been about sports betting handle being down or flat, right, because of the threat of prediction markets and the growth of them. But we've seen Kalshi actually kind of plateau for the first time in recent memory. Looking at a graphic right now, we've had the spike for the Super Bowl, and then this is usually when things die down. Yes, there's March Madness, but usually sports betting handle kind of goes down over the course of the spring and summer until we get back to football season.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Combat Sports Report continues. I am Gabe Morency. Our boy Tom Safino will step up and in a little bit later on. We'll get into some best bets of the week, but the anticipation continues to build for the White House card. Freedom Fights. Yeah, whatever. It's the White House card. So, I mean, to me, I just call it, I don't think they can actually, call it UFC White House, but basically, that's what it is. So, whatever. UFC Freedom Fights. 250. It's around the corner, right? I mean, it's, the World Cup opening weekend. It's on Sunday, which is kind of strange, but it is what it is. It's outdoors, which I actually think is cool. It's a test of endurance for the fighters. It adds another element to this. Joe Rogan was talking about he doesn't want to see championship fights decided outside, and it should be in an air-conditioned, perfect setting. And evidently, Joe has never heard of the Thriller of Manila, right? Or the Rumble in the Jungle, or pretty much every big boxing match in the 70s and 80s was in a Las Vegas parking lot in a desert heat, right? That's the fight game. But it is going to be cool. And a lot of people have mixed emotions about the card and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And for me, you know what? It's not just, about, I don't really care about the spectacle, actually, of the White House, to be honest. We've already seen it. The octagon is bigger than the damn White House is. So, it almost looks awkward. Let's just call it out for what it is. It's all right, you're doing this for the point of doing it, but it kind of looks dumb. Right? You've taken over the entire lawn. It dwarfs everything. It's just this sort of it's like dropping the Monsters of Rock stage on the White House lawn or something like that. But the fights actually intrigue me. I can't wait to see Cyril Gane and Alex Pereira and Justin Gaethje and Topuria. So Topuria right now is a minus 600 favorite at BetOnline. Justin Gaethje's a plus 450 underdog, and they're starting to do more press. And, these guys have been around each other now a bit. And it's pretty clear that Justin Gaethje is beginning to seriously dislike Ilia Topuria. And in the modern, like I said, in the UFC, a lot of stuff is so forced and just and Sean Strickland, I really didn't mean anything I said. I was just selling a fight. Right? It's a lot of just sort of waste of time stuff. But Gaethje literally, you can feel Gaethje is just sick of it. And sick of sitting there listening to Topuria talk about how easily he's going to beat him. So He finally, and to me, it's just like, once again, laugh out loud funny. Justin Gaethje earlier this week on Ilia Topuria. All that guy is a gimmick. He calls himself the king. He thinks he's a god. What an annoying little bastard. I couldn't imagine being in a room for him with 30 minutes listening to him talk about himself. All I can say is this. I would leave him. That's all I would say. No way I would put up with that crap. I would leave him too. And a reference to Topuria's wife recently leaving him. So, like, Gaethje doesn't talk smack ever. Gaethje, like, literally, and people generally don't talk smack to Gaethje before fights because they know he's insane, right? And they're like, wow, I don't really want to, like, you know, I don't want to piss him off anymore. Like, he's already going to be trying to take my head off, this guy. So I don't, like, people respect Justin, and, like, Justin doesn't really say stupid things before fights. And this isn't a stupid thing, right? This is, like, just genuinely from the heart of, like, what an annoying, the line I love was like, what an annoying little bastard. I couldn't imagine being in a room for 30 minutes listening to him talk about himself. But the part is, I would leave him too. Like, that really, like, forget all this, I'm better than you, or I'm going to knock you out, or you don't have this part of your game, or any of this type of stuff. It's like, yeah, like, your wife left you, and I'm not surprised she left you. Like, it's like the best, just sort of like, yeah, let's just cut right to the chase here. I don't like you, and I'm glad your wife left you. I'm not surprised she did. With that being stated, man, listen, you can't lay minus 600. You're going to lay minus 600? And it's not as if though it's like, yeah, it's minus 600, but there's absolutely no positively way in hell he loses. I don't think Gaethje's going to beat him. But there's some fights where it's like, yeah, just put it in the damn parlay or play the over-under or whatnot. You know what I mean? Gaethje could tag him. Like, he could. I don't think he will. I think Topuria really is that good. But everybody gets humbled in this sport at some point. And Gaethje's playing with house money, man. Right? He catches them, and it's lights out. Combat Sports Report continues.
Talk has been about sports betting handle being down or flat, right, because of the threat of prediction markets and the growth of them. But we've seen Kalshi actually kind of plateau for the first time in recent memory. Looking at a graphic right now, we've had the spike for the Super Bowl, and then this is usually when things die down. Yes, there's March Madness, but usually sports betting handle kind of goes down over the course of the spring and summer until we get back to football season.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
For Abdul Carter. Hey, son, you want to be a leader? Show up to meetings on time. Don't be late to practice. This guy's sitting there trying to tell me that he's got a problem with Jackson Dart going to a Trump rally when he can't even show up to a meeting on time? And he can't show up to practice and he's late? Dude.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
This is all about headlines, Donnie. Yep. If we hear, if that noise gets louder as we get closer, then 45 cents is going to be 65 cents, and that's the repricing we're talking about. I don't need Utah to get him. I need people to think Utah is going to go up and get him, Donnie, and that's how you make money.
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
Craig Carton along with Tyrone Johnson. We got great news for you. CraigCartonShow.com. And Tyrone, what do you get if you go to that amazing website?
Well, right now you can subscribe to our upcoming newsletter. You put in your email address, and then bang, you'll get all the new Craig Carton Show content when it arrives.
Not just that, you also get merch drops, exclusive content, and appearances. So again, one more time, that website is CraigCartonShow.com.
That Sports Report continues on the SportsGrid Television Network. We were just talking about Justin Gaethje and Ilia Toporia's throwdown at the White House and how I enjoyed Justin Gaethje's line that if I was married to him, I would leave him too. And you know, there's some good smack talk going on between Gaethje and Topuria. And Topuria is kind of insufferable, but he's so good, and he kind of knows it. But Gaethje is a dangerous fighter. Let's call it off what it is, right? He's a dangerous fighter. But now he's got Sean Strickland trolling him right now. And like he's got to worry about Topuria, and now he finds himself in the middle of this controversy because Strickland's banned from the White House card. And it's just amazing to me that, like I said, like it's just, I never saw this coming in a million years. I think a lot of people thought like, the UFC sort of took pride in it. Like, oh, if you don't like this, you know what I mean? Oh, the pinko commies won't like us fighting on the White House lawn and stuff. But the pinko commies don't care, right? Like they're too busy bitching about other stuff. It's like you got Sean Strickland saying that he's going to show up and he's going to protest the event outside, and somehow Justin Gaethje gets drawn into this. And I feel bad for Gaethje because he's got a championship fight coming up. He can't worry about like what's going on online. And when it leads me into this, I feel bad for the fighters this week that are fighting this week because there actually is a card this week. But everyone's talking about Gaethje. Everyone's talking about Sean Strickland this, said that, and the White House this, and everything else in between. People aren't talking about this card at all, and I get it. There's a card all the damn time, and this is one of these Vegas Apex type of cards, but it's actually a very good card. The main event is very, very good. The main card is good. I think there's like more than a few betting opportunities on this card, so I feel for the fighters on this card because whatever, no one's talking about it, but we are. Let's bring in Tom Savino, break it down right now, live from Utica. Tom lives the glamorous lifestyle. Forget about like Paris and Vegas and like he's kicking it in Utica right now. But great stuff, Tom, as always, my man. Thank you for joining us. And as I stated, let's start off with the main event here. There's basically a pick 'em as well. I see BetOnline has Bonfim at minus 115 right now. Former champion Bilal Muhammad minus 105. 5-round fight, obviously coming in with a total of 3.5, minus 175 to the over. Muhammad lost the championship fight to Della, and then he lost to Ian Gary after. And you got Bonfim, who just comes in here on a roll right now. I'm excited to see how this fight plays out.
Yeah, it's a good fight. It's a good test of kind of where both guys are at. It's always interesting when guys lose the title, where they go from there. Obviously Bilal lost his next fight, but I mean, he had a good accounting for himself in that fight, and he's a really good fighter. I mean, he's not done by any stretch of the imagination. Bonfim's a guy that, I've got some questions about his cardio still. He's very good. He's explosive. He's got good submissions. Pretty well-rounded overall. The biggest question with him is that cardio, and against a guy like Bilal, who's extremely well-rounded. He's got good striking. He's got good grappling. He's got great cardio. Over the course of 5 rounds, I don't love being, heavy on Bilal Muhammad, but I feel like in this spot, I kind of have to be. I kind of like Bilal in this one.
You do, huh? At that, a basic pick-em price, and I get it. And I totally agree with you. Listen, I was a big Muhammad fan through his rise up to the championship. He was super underrated because he's not flashy, right? Something you just sort of said there, like he's good at everything, but he's not like, he's not like a knockout artist, not a submission specialist. He's not really like, he just sort of does everything well. High volume, comes at you. He is 37 years old. And as you stated, when fighters are champions and also he spends a lot of time online, except his troll job is Ariel Helwani, right? So like everybody's like busy doing something, right? So like, seriously, he spends like, he's very big on Palestine and like, so he's online all the time bitching about everything in the world. But like you said, he is a great fighter, not done. To me, I look at this, and I don't want to take the easy way out here, Tom. I like to give people a winner, But at the same point in time, I want to give people a winning bet. Over under 3.5. I got to believe this goes over 3.5.
Yeah, I would lean that way as well. I think Bonfim's winning, the way he wins, it would be to catch Bilal with something early. So I do think there is a possibility there. But Bilal's not a guy that gets finished. Bilal's not necessarily a finisher. I mean, he finished Sean Brady, 5 or 6 fights ago, which was actually pretty shocking. I was on him in that fight. I think he was even money there, which I thought was crazy, but I wasn't expecting a finish in that one. But overall, I mean, Bilal's a very smart fighter, tactical. He's going to probably try to make this a grimy fight, push the fight up against the cage. The longer the fight goes, the better it is for Bilal. So I would expect a long fight. Both guys have the ability to finish, but in all reality, I mean, most Bilal fights do go, he's fought a lot of 5-round fights. He's fought a ton of 3-round fights that went to decision. So I would expect it to go long. The only thing that would worry me a little bit with the 3.5 is if Bonfim's cardio does start to fail him early, if Bilal's pushing that pace and making it a heavy grappling match. There
starts
could
wearing him out.
But
yeah,
but I still think from what I've seen from Bonfim recently, the cardio has looked better. It's not against the highest level of competition, but he is kind of moving up the ranks. And the cardio has looked better since he lost. So, and again, he's training for a 5-round fight, so you would expect it to be a focus of the camp. But I think over 3.5 is probably a fair way to go for this fight.
Now, listen, we obviously have a lot of sports bettors tuning in to the show on the SportsGrid television network. It's what we do here. And everybody knows that, it's good to have multiple options when it comes to sports betting, right? But let's be real. When it comes to the NBA, the NHL, the NFL, etc., point spreads are point spreads. Major League Baseball, FanDuel has it at -156, and DraftKings -153, and for the most part, it's generally always the same. MMA, it actually is different, right? I mean, it's not as quite as uniformed. Yeah. And a great example here, Tom, is Brendan Allen. I saw Brendan Allen at -225 at spots earlier in the week. And I was like, you know what? I really like, I saw Brendan Allen live against Iridier, and this guy's a badass, but I'm seeing him at -175 right now. So I liked him at -225. Yeah. I obviously like him at -175 right now. So what am I missing, with this one? And every time Shabazian has stepped up in class, and he's a good fighter, but you look at the fighters that he's lost to, it's always sort of top 10, top 15 type of guys, even earlier in his career that weren't, at that peak yet. But Brendan Allen is a badass fighter, Tom. I like this. Good parlay material.
Yeah, I love Allen in this spot. He was one of the first names I looked at on the card, and I thought that's a guy that I'm going to try to parlay him and bet him any way I can, because like you said, I mean, Shabazian is really good. He is really talented, but he does kind of have a wall. His cardio I still don't trust his cardio. He's kind of the ultimate can crusher. Early in his career, he came in, destroyed a few guys, stepped up in competition, like you said, and, he got pushed back. And the guys that he's beaten recently, still, not cans, but not the greatest level of competition. Meanwhile, Brendan Allen's fighting anybody and everybody, and he's had a nice run. So, and he's completely well-rounded. So he's an absolute. I love him in this spot.
What I like about him too, he doesn't say stupid things. He just goes in there and handles his business. More with Tom on the other side. Combat Sports Report continues. We're breaking it down. UFC Fight Night 118, I think it is. Vegas 118. Whatever. Like, them and their different numbers and the fight nights and this and that and stuff. But that's what is technically called UFC Vegas 118 on the sports books or AK Fight Night, whatever. But it is actually a pretty good fight night. So we talked about the main event and the co-main event. Let's get into some of the other fights here. Let's talk about the Zayam fight against Tom Nolan. Faraz Zayam is like a minus 315 favorite, Tom, against Tom Nolan. Big, tall dude for the weight class, but very hittable as well because he is so tall and lanky. Zayam's a big favorite here in the minus 300 range. Is it too high? Are you interested in the dog, or are you going to stay away? You put in the parlay? How are you handling this fight, if at all?
I am putting him in a parlay, ZM, that is. I'm putting him in a parlay with Brendan Allen. These were the two guys, when I looked at the card, I liked Bilal just because I liked Bilal over the course of 5 rounds. But ZM and Brendan Allen, to me, I think they have the two best matchups. I think ZM, he's a guy that I have had doubts about in the past, but he's kind of just improving. Over the past 4 or 5 years, he just keeps getting better. His wrestling defense has gotten better. He does have some submission skills, and he's a really good striker. He's dangerous. And I don't really like Tom Nolan. I just don't think he's that good. I think he's chinny. I think he puts himself in bad spots a lot. And I think ZM is in a good spot here. So it's a big number. And, with big numbers, you try to take that money line and put it together with something else that you really like. And with Arnold Allen, it's an even money parlay. So I threw those two together in a parlay. I really like ZM here. Honestly, I think ZM can win by knockout. He can club and sub him. So, inside the distance is a possibility here. But I like ZM a lot. I really do think he's in a good spot here. Tom Nolan is dangerous. He does have some really good skills. He is and rangy, but so is ZM. I mean, ZM is one of the tallest guys in the division as well. So, just over the course of their careers, I think ZM is the much better fighter in this spot right now.
Yeah, that's the thing. This is the first time generally for this weight class. Faraz is like the taller guy, right? At 6 foot, at 6 feet. But as Tom mentioned, I brought it up earlier, Nolan's actually 6'2". Tall, lanky type of kid. A lot of people think that he should move up, actually, that it's like too much, that his body, like he likes the lankiness and, sort of the reach and the size advantage. But as you stated, like tall dudes are very hittable. There's a lot of targets there. They're kickable. There's a lot of stuff you can do. So for the record, Faraz and Brendan Allen, parlay is plus 109. An interesting fight to me, and we were talking about Sean Strickland earlier, and Bryce Mitchell, Sean saying to Bryce Mitchell, hold my beer. So I like the UFC's always big on we have freedom of speech for all of our fighters. Like, we'll see how far it actually goes until their fighters start to piss off the UFC's friends type of deal. But now Bryce Mitchell is on the card, and he's never met a question, and he's not going to give a unique answer to in his own Bryce Mitchell way. But with that being stated, this is an intriguing fight here against Santiago Luna. Mexicans really aren't known for wrestling, but Luna is a good wrestler. Mitchell is just one of those crazy sort of scrambler type of dudes, like that's all over the place. This is an intriguing fight, actually. 21-year-old, man. I mean, this is Santiago is what, 21, 22? I think he's 21 years old. It's a pretty ballsy fight for the kid to take, let's be honest. Say what you will about Bryce Mitchell being a psychopath and whatever in his takes, but he is a good fighter, and he is a man who's been in the UFC and has fought top-tier guys. This is a big fight for Santiago Luna. I give the kid credit for saying, yeah, I'll take this fight. Let's rock.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really intriguing matchup because, Bryce, when Bryce is doing his thing, he's winning in the grappling department. And Luna is a really good grappler. And, on the feet, Luna definitely has the better striking. So it's really intriguing. I like Bryce Mitchell. I think he's a really good fighter. I think him dropping down in weight, probably the best thing he could have done. This matchup though, man, I don't know. Like, I like Bryce. He's a slight favorite here. I think he can get it done, but I do worry a little bit. I mean, if Luna can, stuff some takedowns or even take Bryce down himself, like Bryce, he's a really good wrestler, but he can be taken down. He's got like a 30% takedown defense. So this matchup to me, I feel like Bryce is going to get the job done. He's just been in there with a lot of really good guys, up a weight class. And he is, when it comes to wrestling and cardio, like, he can push a pace and keep going. And he's tough as nails. Like, we've seen him knocked out badly by Josh Emmett. Like, that's a tough knockout to take, but he's fought some heavy hitters and he survived. But yeah, I think Bryce wins. I'm going to be looking at the takedown numbers here. I don't have them currently right now, but I think there's a chance you could get decent takedown numbers on both guys. So I think Bryce wins the fight. I just think he's the guy that's been around. He's done it. And I really like him at this weight class, but I'm kind of curious to see what those takedown numbers are on both guys, because I could see both guys landing 3-4 takedowns in this fight. So if those numbers are good, I might just bet takedowns here.
Yeah, sometimes you have to look at, like, between the odds, to read between the lines. It is, to me, same thing. I'm like, wow, the kid's only like plus 102. I mean, Bryce Mitchell is as low as minus 120 at some spots right now. So the sportsbooks aren't willing to get killed here with what they believe to be a live underdog. The total over under 2.5, shaded heavily to the over, although minus 175. So over 2.5 is minus 175. Under 2.5 is plus 153. We'll wrap it up on the other side with Tom. We'll nail down some best bets. We'll hit a couple of other fights, hit the prelims for the UFC fight night as the UFC White House card rapidly approaches as well.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Terrible start last year, injured all the way through, didn't have a chance to win that Major League Baseball season. This year, first team to 20 wins, first team to 30 wins, first team to 40 wins. It's all in the Atlanta Braves. Good baseball club lurking around here.
They still have some guys, some starting pitchers on the shelf there that could help them down the road, but the Braves are sitting pretty right now.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
For Abdul Carter. Hey, son, you want to be a leader? Show up to meetings on time. Don't be late to practice. This guy's sitting there trying to tell me that he's got a problem with Jackson Dart going to a Trump rally when he can't even show up to a meeting on time and he can't show up to practice and he's late? Dude.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Well, the talk has been about sports betting handle being down or flat, right, because of the threat of prediction markets and the growth of them. But we've seen Kalshi actually kind of plateau for the first time in recent memory. Looking at a graphic right now, we've had the spike for the Super Bowl, and then this is usually when things die down. Yes, there's March Madness, but usually sports betting handle kind of goes down over the course of the spring and summer until we get back to football season.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're in the final round right now. The Combat Sports Report. We're breaking it down. UFC Vegas Fight Night 118 this Saturday, and of course, the countdown is on to the White House card. It's kind of on all the drama with Strickland and Gaethje and basically everybody has overshadowed this card. It's not like this is like the greatest card in the history of MMA or anything, but it is a good card for betting purposes. Actually. So we still got a couple more minutes here with Tom. Another fight we didn't get to here is the Junior Tafa fight against Baranowski, the Polish menace. Baranowski's a big favorite here, Tom, minus 370. Any interest in this fight? Is the line too high? Underdog parlay? Any interest for you? And for the record, guys, the total over under 1.5 plus 274 to the over 1.5. If you want to roll the dice and hold your breath and think, can we get 7.5 minutes out of this? But, wow, you don't really see totals like this too often, Tom. Under 1.5, minus 340.
Yeah, this is a fight that, if you're betting it, it's not so much fun because there's just so much that can go wrong here. But if you're just watching it to watch two guys trade and you want to watch somebody get knocked out, it's a great fight. I mean, these two guys can throw leather, really good striking. Now, with that said, I think Iwu could go to the grappling, and if he does, he probably looks like a minus 10,000 favorite. He wanted to go to the grappling in his last fight, and he just so happened to win within the first 30 seconds with one or two punches. So he didn't really get to go that game plan. But I do like the fact that was the thought process in camp. Hey, we're going to get this guy down. We're going to beat him up on the ground, and that's how we're going to win. So if you're fighting a Tafa brother, especially Junior, that's the game plan. Like, if you want to take him down and beat him up on the ground, that's the game plan. So I think that would be the path here. If they just stand and trade, anybody can win by knockout in this fight. I mean, both guys have really good striking. We saw Iwu, in his debut got cracked and, nearly got finished early and then came back and had a great knockout win there. That was an exciting, 3 or 4 minutes. I don't know what that was, but it was a crazy, crazy fight. So yeah, I expect fireworks in this fight. If he goes the takedown route, though, I think he wins, going away. And I do think that he probably has that in the game plan. So I expect him to win this fight. But yeah, I mean, the first, minute, 2 minutes, who knows? If they stand and trade, it's going to be fireworks. So I do like the under. But again, if he goes the grappling route, maybe we do get over that 1.5. But I said that last week. I forget what fight it was. I was like, yeah, I see these guys going. These guys might, the Spivak, or not Spivak, but what's his name? There was a heavyweight fight last week. I can't remember. Pavlovich. I was like, yeah, Pavlovich, he's going to play it safe. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. They'll go over 1.5 plus 150, worth a shot. And then he just absolutely smashes him, and it didn't play out. But that's like me betting the over.
It's like me betting the under in game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. You know what? It's game 1. Yeah. It'll slow down. Yeah. It was a track meet. Hate that. Hate being wrong.
No shot.
Hate being on the wrong side. All right. We only got about a minute and a half left here, a minute or so. So anything on the prelims? We hit the main card. Anything on? It's pretty chalky, the prelim. So, big chalk. And I hate laying minus 700s and 500s with kind of not no-name fighters, but you know what I'm saying. Untested, that's the new era. Yeah. Like I said, the old days, I remember the old days, you have to be GSP and be like, wow, GSP's a minus 500 favorite. Now some guy in his first fight in the UFC is minus 1,400 nowadays. Right? So we got about 30 seconds only, Tom. Anything on the prelims?
Yeah, I'll run through it quick. Ketlin Souza, she's a big favorite on this card, and I don't like the money line. I don't think that's something I want to bet. But her inside the distance is plus 240. I think I'm probably going to throw a half unit on that. I think, she's fighting Carnelossi, who's got really no cardio. Neither one of these women have the greatest cardio. I think Souza has a really good upside here to get the finish. So I like Souza inside the distance, plus 240. Taking a dog shot on Jordan Levitt. I think he's really good. I think he's very underrated. I'm also taking a dog shot on Chirez. Very close fight. It's going to be a brawl. So those are the three plus money bets that I'm looking at on this card.
Awesome stuff. Tom Safino with us. Thanks to Chris Lytle. Other than that, you're on your own.